Hello everybody. In today's video, we're going to go over the Storm Prediction Center's Day 4 through 8 outlook. Now, I posted a video yesterday about the Storm Prediction Center Day 4 through 8 outlook, and as you can see here, amendments have been made. So the usual risk area was pushed back by a day because that means that the severe weather event is getting closer to coming to fruition. Uh, so as you can see, it's on the day 5, day 6, and day 7 outlooks. Because you see Tuesday, you would count Tuesday as day 1, then Wednesday as day 2, then Thursday as day 3, Friday as day 4, Saturday as day 5, Sunday as day 6, Monday as day 7, and Tuesday as day 8. Today we're going to go over, like I said, the days 4 through 8 outlook. Excuse me, sorry, just a little bit of allergies or something like that. So here you could see you have day 4, right? If you want to actually take a look at the animation, you can here. So just a quick breakdown of what the Storm Prediction Center does. If you are unfamiliar, the Storm Prediction Center predicts storms. It's kind of self-explanatory. And the Storm Prediction Center does a phenomenal job regards to what they do and how they forecast things, and they're very unique and very intelligent. So I highly aspire to be somebody who is a part of the Storm Prediction Center, if not the National Weather Service. Now, anyways, I digress. Let's get into the outlooks. So, day 4, it says predictability is too low. Now, predictability, if you don't know what predictability means, it means the ability to predict. Predictability, the ability to predict. And the predictability is too low, meaning the ability to predict severe weather is too low. There is too little confidence involved in this setup. That's why it says predictability is too low, because while yes, there may be severe weather that will happen on that day, there are some uncertainties, some anomalies that, that and normal models have and are predisposed to. Uh, they're just predisposed to changes and things like that. It's with every single model. So they're going to have some changes, some uncertainties, and so that's why the predictability is too low. However, let's go over to day 5 now. Now, day 4, there's nothing, and you can see that it's day 4 because D stands for day, and these little boxes, these black boxes, when I click on D4, day 4, it highlights it in a reddish color, a almost blood red color. So that's why that's how you know it's day 4, and then now you transition over to day 5, and you have a slight risk equivalent of severe weather. Now, if you don't know how the Storm Prediction Center essentially graphs severe weather, it's on a 0 to 5. 0 meaning like there's no weather, that there's no significant severe weather. That's called general thunderstorm. GNRL space TSTM, general thunderstorm. Basically, it sounds pretty self-explanatory. It just means that general thunderstorms that are not of the severe variety will just occur. It's garden variety rain showers, maybe a small thunderstorm here and there, but overall nothing of significant proportions. And then you step up a level to 1 out of 5, marginal, or excuse me, MRGL, marginal. That means that there is a marginal threat of severe weather. There may be a small risk of tornadoes, a very small risk of hail, and a small risk of wind damage, but overall, nothing too substantial. Now, there are exceptions, like the recent southern Michigan EF3 that we had. It was in a marginal risk. So there are exceptions to marginal risks. Anything can happen. It can overperform, it can perform as expected, and it can underperform or bust. Uh, Bust simply just means that really nothing happened that is comparable to whatever delineated risk there is. And then we bump ourselves up a little bit to slight, SLGT, slight. Slight risk is a bump up from a marginal risk. It's a 2 out of 5 on the intensity scale, and essentially is just, well, sorry, my words are just escaping my brain right now. Sorry. A slight risk is basically just, again, where am I trying to, where's my point trying to lead to? It's a step up from a marginal risk. It basically means that there's a slightly higher uh, severity threat of severe weather. The tornado threat, wind threat, and hail threat all increase, and storms do have the potential to become very dangerous. It is a very small potential, but with any potential exists any danger, so, and the danger just continues to creep up and up and up and up. All right, and so there could be a bigger risk of tornadoes, a bigger risk of wind, and a bigger risk of hail. All right, and then you get to 3 out of 5, enhanced risk, or ENH, enhanced. Basically, that's a step up from a slight risk, and now poses now an enhanced risk poses a major, potentially major threat of severe weather. Uh, Many tornadoes potentially, very large hail, and very damaging winds are a big possibility when an enhanced risk has been issued. So steer clear of being outside when thunderstorms do develop, and you are under an enhanced risk because you could be swept away by a major tornado potentially, or you could be killed with giant hail or eviscerated by a strong damaging wind event. And then you step it up to moderate risk, a level 4 out of 5, or MDT. M as in Mary. MDT. MDT, moderate, is a step up from an enhanced risk. And oh boy, do things get scary at the moderate risk level. Moderate risk, all hell starts to break loose. Once you get past enhanced, all hell starts to break loose. Once you get towards moderate, and then eventually high, HIGH, which we will talk about in a little bit. Moderate risk essentially means that the environment is extremely powerful, potent, and ripened for severe weather. And by severe weather, severe is a little bit of an understatement. And by severe, I mean extremely deadly, perhaps. Multiple, potentially large, violent, long track tornadoes, very large hail, and a potential derecho event. A derecho is just a very powerful windstorm. And you think it could get worse? Yes, it can. Because the level 5 out of 5 is the high risk. HIGH. Matter of fact, I can actually show you a graphic as to what it looks like. I should have done this earlier, but I am not really in it mentally right now to remember some things. So general thunderstorms is going to be at the very bottom middle of the screen. It's light green and it says thunderstorms. Then and that's a 0 out of 5. Then we have a 1 out of 5. It's a marginal risk. It's above the general thunderstorm risk. And it is a dark green with a 1. Alright? Then you step it up to a slight risk. Slight risk is level 2 out of 5. It's above the marginal risk, and it's yellow. Then, above the slight risk is the enhanced. It's orange and has the number 3. Then above the enhanced is the moderate. It's red and has number 4. And then above that is the high, which is pink and level 5. High risks are rarely, if ever, issued. Some years, high risks are not issued at all. But most years, out of the many years that we have been recording severe weather, most have had an issuance of a high risk. High risks represent major, potentially historic tornado outbreaks with very large killer hail and an extreme apocalyptic derecho. More probably, I don't want to overhype things, but probably more deadly and apocalyptic than August 10th, 2020. That derecho swept through Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and produced, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a 127 mile per hour wind gust at Cedar Rapids, which was unheard of and is the worst derecho event in the history of the Earth. Literally. Since we've recorded severe occurrences, August 10th, 2020 was the worst derecho ever recorded in history, in the world. Literally. I'm not joking. It's horrifying. There's horrifying Cedar Rapids footage. It's just so apocalyptic. And oh boy, it was absolutely terrible. Not a time where you want to live. Not a time where you want to be in. But anyway, so now that we've gotten through the risk categories, let's actually go over to the day 4 through 8 outlook and actually start to go through it. Or continue to go through it. So, day 5 here, we have a 15% risk of severe weather. 15%, this yellow correlates with a slight risk. You could see over here the day 4 through 8 severe weather outlook legend. We have a 15% risk of severe weather. 15% in Texas, Oklahoma, and extreme southern Kansas. 15% over here. We have there's a 30% on the severe weather outlook legend. It's not over here, luckily. But it would look orange. Alright, so day 5 is accompanying Texas, the extreme eastern and southeastern parts of New Mexico, the Texas Panhandle, the Oklahoman Panhandle, and parts of extreme southwestern Kansas. Right, if I turn on cities, this may or may not include the city of Liberal, the town of Liberal, Kansas. Again, like I said earlier, I don't know why people name things weirdly. Uh, I partly don't like to get political with things, especially since the war is going on. I don't even want to mention the war because it's absolutely a terrible and tragic event that should not be mentioned in any severe weather broadcasting video, so I don't even know why I said that to be honest, but I just don't know why they name towns. I mean, sure, there's a logical explanation. It's just kind of confuses me a little bit, but anyway, let's move on. So, this risk area actually looks very similar to the risks that we saw yesterday issued by the Storm Prediction Center last video, if you do remember that. So we have this is day 5. This would be for Saturday, right? And you go over to day 6, it moves eastward. This looks very similar to the risk zones that we saw yesterday. Again, I said that like 10 seconds ago. All right, this this risk area includes Austin, Waco, Dallas, Abilene, and Wichita Falls in Texas, Fort Sill, Norman, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Woodward in Oklahoma, and Wichita, Kansas. So pretty hefty expansion from day 5 to day 6. But we have a new addition, a new character to talk about, if you will. Day 7. Day 7 includes way more. It includes Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois. So in Texas, Abilene, Dallas, and Wichita Falls are under this risk. Fort Sill, Norman, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa in Oklahoma are under this risk. Wichita, Kansas is under this risk. Kansas City, Jefferson City, and Springfield, Missouri are under this risk. And that's it. No Arkansas, Nebraska, Iowa, or Illinois cities are located under this that are delineated. Oh, I forgot one more. Hannibal. I think that's Hannibal, Missouri. So the cities that are included on this map are Abilene, Dallas, Wichita Falls, Fort Sill, Norman, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Springfield, Kansas City, Jefferson City, and Hannibal. Those are the cities that are included on this map. And they're in the day 7 risk. That's valid on Monday. So this is a severe weather threat on Monday of next week. Wow, that was a mouthful. I've been talking for ages, but there's still more. So if I turn off cities and I scroll down, down, and down, you could see that the Storm Prediction Center provides a very wonderful description here, basically, of what the um, severe weather will be like. The description of it gets into the details, into the synoptic evidence. So wonderful. Alrighty. So here we go. Day 4 through 8 convective outlook. National Weather Service, Storm Prediction Center, Norman, Oklahoma. Excuse me. Excuse me. 3:56 a.m. Central Daylight Time, Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. Valid on the 10th at 12Z until the 15th on 12Z. Discussion Friday, day 4 to Sunday, day 6. Remember, day 5 until day 7 is when severe weather occurs. So day 4 is the day before severe weather. In this instance, an upper-level trough will move eastward from the eastern Pacific on Friday into the western United States on Saturday as southwest mid-level flow gradually strengthens over the south-central states. In response, low-level moisture advection will continue over the Great Plains. Ahead of the western United States trough, a subtle shortwave trough is forecast to move into the southern high plains Saturday afternoon. A severe threat will be possible ahead of and near the trough during the afternoon and evening. An upper-level trough, what does that mean? Well, there are levels in the atmosphere: lower, middle, and upper. Lower levels tend to be closer to the surface. Mid-levels are in between the upper levels and the lower levels, and then the upper levels are higher than the mid-levels. So an upper-level trough, like around 300 millibars, 500 millibars, maybe 500 millibars is too mid-level, so let's say 300 millibars. And it will move east from the eastern Pacific and southwest mid-level flow. The flow at the mid-levels, so probably 500 millibars, is flowing from the southwest. So it originates from the southwest and will be excuse me, it will be gradually strengthening. This is strengthening flow helps severe weather a lot. All right. It does. It does. You look at certain severe weather events, obviously all of them are going to be synoptically different from one another. However, stronger flow at any level can boost severe weather significantly. So a severe threat will be possible ahead of and near the trough during the afternoon and evening. Remember, yesterday a trough is like the shape of a bowl, and then a ridge is the inverted shape of a bowl. A bowl, but upside down. Low-level moisture advection. It's just moisture at the low levels, so closer to the surface, is advecting. God, my apologies. Sorry if you're wearing headphones. Low-level moisture advection. Moisture at the low levels is being transported northward. And a shortwave trough is just like a trough, but the very small version. Alright, so let's read the next paragraph. So, on Sunday, the western United States upper level trough is forecast to move quickly east-northeastward into the southern Rockies. Ahead of the trough, a moist and moderately unstable air mass is forecast over much of the southern and central plains by the afternoon. Scattered thunderstorms appear likely to develop over much of this air mass during the afternoon and evening. Moderate to strong deep layer shear appear likely to be in place, which will be favorable for severe thunderstorms. Supercells with large hail, severe wind gusts, and a tornado threat will be possible. An isolated severe threat may also develop in parts of the north-central United States. That basically means that the trough is forecast to move east-northeastward into the southern Rockies, and moisture and instability are expected to build and develop over a specific corridor. Deep layer shear in the deeper layers of the atmosphere appear to be in place. Shear makes every severe weather setup tornadic. Almost. Okay, there are many idiosyncrasies regarding severe weather events, but you know, you know what I mean. Deep layer shear, any kind of shear can influence a tornadic potential in severe weather. So supercells, which are rotating thunderstorms, will have all hazards: large hail, damaging wind gusts, and a potential tornado threat. Alright, so Monday, day 7. Monday is the new addition to severe weather, and Tuesday, day 8. A secondary upper level trough is forecast to move into the desert southwest on Monday. Ahead of this system, a moist and unstable air mass is forecast to remain in place from the southern plains north-northeastward into the upper Midwest. Although a severe corridor will be possible along much of the instability corridor, the greatest threat is expected to develop in the southern plains where model forecasts show the most favorable environment. So, the first upper level trough came through. Now a secondary one following behind this, because this is the meridional flow of the polar jet. I believe this is the polar jet, and if not, it's probably the subtropical jet. A secondary upper level trough is forecast to move into the desert southwest on Monday, so the southwestern United States. And ahead of this system, moist air will be present with a ton of instability forecast. Well, not a ton, but there will be a lot of instability in place. So thunderstorms can quickly, boom, explode, which is not great. And severe weather will be most favorable in the southern plains. However, severe weather can still stretch into the upper Midwest. Last paragraph. On Tuesday, model forecasts have some agreement concerning the timing of this trough, which is forecast to eject northeastward across the southern and central plains. Ahead of this trough, there is large variance among the models concerning the distribution of instability. If a moderately unstable air mass is in place by Tuesday afternoon, ahead of the ejecting system, a severe threat will be likely from the southern plains into the mid to upper Mississippi Valley. However, the system will probably be slower than forecast, which adds considerable uncertainty this late in the period. So this is the last final paragraph was talking about day 8. Day 8 has no severe weather threat delineated as of right now. However, potential severe weather is in the cards. Potential. Again, it's not delineated, but it is potential. There are some synoptics that are favoring severe weather, but it's just there's still too much uncertainty to tell really if that severe weather threat will be coming to fruition. Alrighty, so what a way to end the video here. I am finished with recording and everything. This was the summary of the day 4 through 8 severe weather outlook issued on April 7th, 2026 at 3:59 Central Standard Time. 3:56, 3:59. I don't know why they're different. But yeah, I hope you have a great day and a great week. So, I will see you in the next one.